Now you can easily face fines or imprisonment if you use critical hate speech against certain people groups. So, my question is, I think we can all agree that love is the greatest aspect of humanity. But would you also agree that the greatest freedom in America and in any free country is the freedom to hate? And this goes to the debate on our college campuses. The freedom to hate is the greatest freedom because in many countries you cannot. Mm-hmm. And in America, you can hate, well, my time was a little bit taken, okay? In America, you can hate Donald Trump, and because it's not against the law, he cannot put you in prison. Isn't that a great thing, okay?
A fearless American patriot just delivered a crushing reality check to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, leaving the progressive icon completely speechless at her town hall. Let's watch the explosive footage now.
I'm Scott Berry. I want to admit I too am a registered Republican. However, my mantra of my life is always be willing to be wrong. Mm-hmm. So maybe you or some of my friends here can convince me to be a Democrat. Okay, I'm always.
I'll take you up on it.
I used to always call myself a demo pub anyway since I was a teenager. I have two quick questions. If I have the time to get them in, we'll see. The first one is on going back to your gun safety idea, but I just wanted to come indirectly at that and ask you if you would be willing to investigate the over 3 million incidences of violent acts and threats of violence allowed in our schools against teachers and against fellow students every year. Now, if you need, I have documentation, government documentation for that. Secondly, I think we can all agree that in every communist country, you don't have free speech. You're not free to hate the communist government or the leaders. In every Muslim country, you certainly don't have free speech to hate Allah or Muhammad or the Quran. You can be killed or put in prison by nightfall.
Just to let you know, I would just caution against, really characterizing all predominantly Muslim countries the same. You know, Turkey and many other nations do have democracies, but I do think that there are certain nations like Saudi Arabia, which even my colleague in Congress, Ilhan Omar, has very much spoken truth to power in some of those issues that you bring up as well. But I just wanted to...
Well, I have friends in almost every Muslim country in the world, and so I know what I'm talking about, and I know even in the supposedly democracies, they will put you to death if you criticize and blaspheme Muhammad, or at least put you in prison. You do not have the freedom to blaspheme Muhammad, okay? So all I'm just saying, though, is that growing even in the European socialist countries, in Europe and Canada, now you can easily face fines or imprisonment if you use critical hate speech against certain people groups. So my question is, I think we can all agree that love is the greatest aspect of humanity. But would you also agree that the greatest freedom in America and in any free country is the freedom to hate? And this goes to the debate on our college campuses. The freedom to hate is the greatest freedom because in many countries you cannot. Mm-hmm. And in America, you can hate, well, my time was a little bit taken, okay? In America, you can hate Donald Trump, and because it's not against the law, he cannot put you in prison. Isn't that a great thing? Okay.
I think I understand where you're trying to go here, and I think part of it is, I think at the bedrock of what you're discussing is freedom of speech, right, and the freedom of expression,
right,
and that is what I would call it.
Yes.
I think that we have a freedom to express ourselves. But we should also know that in the United States, there are also limitations on our freedom of speech.
No, only if it involves violence or threats, things that are illegal. But that's not free speech.
And so,
that's threat. Threats are not free speech.
So, and also, beyond violence,
I don't think you should say that. I don't think you should say that because that's confusing the issue.
Sir, you have your time.
Well, sir, I think it's also confusing. With respect, I think it's confusing to say that all Muslim countries would throw folks in prison. I think...
Go.
I just want to introduce some nuance to the conversation.
Go over there. Go do it. Go do it and see if you come back alive.
So I just want to throw some nuance into the conversation. And I'm not trying to have I'm not trying to have an argument here. I want to have a discussion.
Well, you are having an argument, and I would be glad to argue with you. I'd be glad to debate. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. Are you willing to be wrong?
And absolutely, sir. And I'm absolutely open to being proven wrong on many issues. So when it comes, I'll just let you know my perspective. We can disagree at the end of it, but I want to at least let you know my perspective. My perspective is that we absolutely have a protected freedom of speech. Someone can say, I hate so-and-so, and that is protected speech.
Sure.
When we think about one of the landmark freedom of speech cases brought down by the Supreme Court, one of those cases and one of the verdicts said another form of speech that is not protected is yelling fire in a crowded movie theater.
Because you're killing people.
That will force people to trample one another.
Right.
And so that's not protected speech. So
you can yell fire in the theater if there's a fire.
If there's a fire.
Okay, so that's a ridiculous argument.
Right, sir, but he's saying, if
she's arguing with me.
In the landmark speech. No, sir, it's fine.
Because they turned my mic off, okay, so I have to raise my voice. You fascists turn my mic off.
Oh, sir, no, and you can turn his mic on. You don't have to cut it off. I did not ask that to happen.
Thank you very much.
No, it's totally fine. For me, I think...
fascist.
And so I think for me, sir, it's my concern is we have freedom to say, I hate this, I hate that. Where I do get concerned is where that line is played with so that we have plausible deniability to incite violence against people. I don't think that the president should have tweeted that video that he tweeted. Do I think he should have gone to jail for it? Absolutely not. But I don't think he should have done that. I think that by endangering Congresswoman Omar, he was playing with this line. And
well, I disagree. She endangered herself, okay? That's not endangerment. By showing the truth. So showing the truth is endangerment. It's inciting violence to show the truth. That is fascism.
Well, sir, I don't think anyone's trying to ban that speech.
His right to show the truth of what happened is just as valid as her right to say whatever she wants to say.
And sir, that's why that's why there's no charges being brought up.
And being criticized by you as though there should be charges.
No, I don't think there should be charges.
Yes, because you say he's inciting violence against her.
I think he is.
That's absurd. You cannot incite violence.
Yeah,
inciting violence is illegal.
Right. And so
inciting violence.
So okay, and sir, I think one of the larger questions that we have here is that if we're explicitly talking about, do we have the right to say I hate so and so, I hate this, you even have the right, yes, to be bigoted in America. Absolutely, you absolutely have the right to be bigoted in America.
Right.
My question is, why do you want to, not you, but why would one want to be bigoted in America?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to be bigoted. I grew up as a conservative Christian. I love every Muslim. I love the Muslims that would kill my family, okay? But I'm telling you that the greatest freedom is for us to allow anyone who wants to hate to hate.
A courageous Republican approached the microphone with profound respect, delivering a staggering philosophical truth that completely dismantled the progressive narrative. Confronting AOC directly, he explained that the ultimate metric of any free society isn't the freedom to vocalize safe, polite, or government-approved sentiments. Rather, it is the fiercely protected right to harbor ideas the political establishment actively despises. He challenged her, asking if she agreed that the greatest liberty in America and any truly free nation is the fundamental freedom to hate. In America, you can openly hate Donald Trump, and because it isn't outlawed, he cannot throw you into prison. Isn't that magnificent? He masterfully drew an unyielding line between American liberty and authoritarian communist or radical regimes, where criticizing the ruling elite or mocking religious icons will get you jailed or executed before nightfall. While AOC smugly attempted to rebrand certain tyrannical overseas nations as thriving democracies, the constituent brutally shut her down with a cold reality check. Go over there, do it, and see if you come back alive. If you are exhausted by leftist politicians preaching about democracy while actively crushing the voices of hardworking taxpayers who dare to disagree, smash that subscribe button right now. We are detonating massive political truth bombs every single day, and your unwavering support keeps us fiercely fighting for the First Amendment. AOC immediately panicked, entering damage control by weaponizing tired leftist cliches. She attempted to invoke the thoroughly debunked shouting fire in a crowded theater argument to justify crushing free expression, Worse, she accidentally exposed the radical left's authoritarian playbook, broadening the definition of incitement to legally classify any unfavorable political speech or shared video as a literal criminal offense. She outrageously claimed that Trump sharing a purely factual public news clip of Ilhan Omar was somehow inciting violence, but the constituent fired back instantly, declaring that showing the plain truth is never a crime. The showdown's most explosive moment erupted when this patriot flatly refused to let AOC twist his words or drown his argument in political buzzwords. The exact second he seized the undeniable upper hand, AOC's authoritarian handlers rushed in and literally cut his microphone off. But this fearless man didn't flinch for a single second. Raising his booming voice to fill the entire auditorium, he called out her blatant censorship directly to her face. "You fascist? Turn my mic off? Showing the truth is inciting violence? That is fascism!" AOC scrambled to backpedal, frantically ordering her team to restore his audio, but the authoritarian mask had already slipped. They love preaching about open dialogue until a fully documented conservative fiercely stands his ground and entirely shatters their fragile monopoly on the conversation. This intense town hall confrontation proved exactly what modern progressives truly desire. They do not want an actual debate. They simply demand absolute, unquestioning compliance. This brave taxpayer marched straight into the lion's den, relentlessly exposing their totalitarian instincts on live television. Let me know your honest thoughts down in the comments below regarding AOC's team cowardly cutting this patriot's microphone. Smash that like button and share this video absolutely everywhere to fight censorship.